rest until, every house has at least some degree of digital access. The people of Crawford were, I don't know if they were, I don't want to call it pressure, but it was definitely well known around here just how terrible our access was. Before we even did a deep dive, constituents were complaining. I mean, when kids, even before the pandemic, kids were still, having to go out of the county just to get Wi-Fi and speed just to do their homework. The local fire station would open up their fire station. The library was here, various spots, but a child couldn't do their homework at home because there was insufficient broadband. And what we've also learned is that the current situation here in Crawford was there was fiber in the county, but it was only along the road and not to the homes. There was no issue the fact that everybody really needed broadband. It was a no-brainer with people. I think people started to rally. It was very easy to put together a small group of people that are committed to, trying to get broadband, here. Matter of fact, I had to, I don't want to say I had to pick and choose, but I had to be judicious in how many people are on this, committee. It was really simple when I went before the commissioners and the commissioners signed off on it like that. The other piece is that regulatory pieces in Crawford are a little more open than other counties. Where a good chunk of the county is the national forest, the Hoosier National Forest. It's federal land, and then along with some of the other DNR lands and the INDOT lands, not much tax revenue coming in. And for the county to make a local match commitment to the NLC is quite something. And that was the document all 10 of them sent. They put up almost $950,000 for this project. That's something unheard of in Crawford County. So I want to commend the local leadership, and that this is a story that the state should kind of look at and go, for cash-strapped counties like this, that, with half the land value being off the tax books, quite a commitment to put in for this. With the NLC that's coming, it should benefit over 1,000 houses and over 200 businesses. So. Or 1.5 down and half a meg up. It was ridiculous. Yeah. And those are the same households that telecoms were. A certain telecom was saying, "Oh no, they're at 10.1," and it's like no. I mean, the industrial park is another example. It was 12.3. That's the best, and I called. That's the best they had, and I actually had a note from one of the technicians on one of these things that said, "Sorry, 3.1 is all we can do." And so I had this proof, but I also needed the survey data. Yeah. So, after we became broadband ready, we learned about next level connections. We actually had 3 surveys done. One was with Mainstream Fiber, who's doing the fiber now for next level, because Crawford County doesn't have an REMC, so there's no benefit. I mean, there's some REMC in the northern part of the county, and that's great. We're happy. The other part is Duke Energy, and Duke Energy's they're not in the broadband business. And so we had to go that extra step and find a partner and, figure it out from there. But for the most part, we really just had to educate ourselves and then, bring the data up there. So we did actually 3 separate surveys, one that Mainstream conducted independently. There was a second one that we did independently, and then Okra gave us a next level, not a next level. Okra gave us a grant, a planning grant for a specific part of the county because of low to moderate income. It was CDBG dollars, but what happened was that spilled over to the rest of the county, to where the comprehensive survey that Roberto did with that when you consider there's 10,000 people in the county and you get 800 and some odd surveys back, that is a very good sampling of surveys that are, when you talk about ratios, it's a very, very good sampling and proof positive. I mean, every single survey was, our internet is terrible. We can't operate. We can't. And we have 12.5%, this is Radius's number, that 12.5% of households are either home-based business or people who work from home, which is amazing considering the level of access that we have. We work from home. Well, we're pretty remote, so it just makes sense that we can get this infrastructure and get it laid out so we can build capacity and build business, and more importantly, build our people. Every house really. Eventually, as speaking from an economic development standpoint, eventually businesses. I mean, I think businesses will need to have the high-speed fiber in order for the industrial park to be competitive. For instance, it's a shovel-ready industrial park. It does have fiber. It does have fiber access, but it's not. It's not the kind of fiber that we're going to have. I recommend really looking at the very least, becoming a broadband ready community. To me, when you become that and you get the letter, it kind of opens the door to other opportunities that can educate you and your elected officials. I know that if we weren't broadband ready, we wouldn't have gotten that Okra grant. I don't know if Okra still does infrastructure grants like that, but it was a nice, unique pilot that we did and completed successfully. It really is finding that one or two, maybe small group of champions in your county who, you don't have to have a title. You don't have to have an elected official next to your name. It's just someone who can advocate locally and maybe, regionally, that fiber is really the new electricity. We need to have that piece of infrastructure in order for, realistic growth to happen both in community and in business. I always talk about the speed of business. John Sampson taught me this. The only way you can keep up with the speed of business is you need to have all the infrastructure and the community prepared for the speed of business, because the community is never going to get up to the speed of business. So remove all the barriers that you can so that you have a prepared enough community for the speed of business to come in. And that's just something I've taken forward with me, that, academia can't do it, government can't do it, but if you can pave the way and make it so businesses can make it easier on businesses to grow, and I'm not talking just attract, I'm talking about expansion and growth, and I'm really talking about entrepreneurship. We have a lot of entrepreneurs here. How might we be able to help them grow and get them the plans they need, and more importantly, get them the infrastructure they need in order for them to, launch and create their startup.